know, we took care of you. You know, we got the tarp over it. You know what I mean? Now, so you good to go. And then I start telling you, well, chef, you worried about just the tarp of dude down the street. Like you're not trying to hear me, bro. You see what I'm saying? So they down at the United States then put a tarp over our roof here, right? Now we supposed to sit back and worry about what the North Africans went through. Like that just it's just not impressive to me, Chef. I'm sorry. That's not. I don't know. Maybe you get somebody else with that.
No, we don't have. Listen. We don't have to worry about it. But if we're talking about oppression as a whole, right? Then we can look at that shit. How else can you make a case about oppression if you don't link it to other shit? Like, what would it be? How would you know what oppression really is if there's y'all think that our shit is just so unique? Like, how would you know? How would you know you don't have good steak unless you ever seen good steak before?
Part of the argument ain't the uniqueness, right? Oppression is oppression to me, Chef. And I'm not, you know what I mean?
There you go.
I don't of oppression, right? Right. So
you breaking up.
It's not that
because he just said oppression's oppression.
It's not that I want. That was it. That
y'all
was
niggas, yo. Now I'm mad at Corey. I thought me and Corey was now I gotta get Corey too. Corey, you in the same bag with them. I'm ready to have a conversation.
No. Because what they're trying to do is I don't know. What I'm saying is I don't know what because I came in late. I don't know what they trying to get off here, right? But what I'm telling you, Brass and Sheffrin, is oppression is wrong no matter where it's done and who the victims are, right? That's just the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
But like when I look across the world, right, and I've seen how it's cool to come to the table once you've got some type of significant repair. It don't have to be the end all be all repair. Like, I'm not saying Japan should be shut the fuck up and they should be satisfied with whatever they got. No, they should still keep doing like you doing. If the case is open, it's open. Goddamn, the carpet molded. So I need you niggas to tear out the carpet and redo the carpet, right? You know what I'm saying? The wall has got water damage. So you niggas need to come in and do some drywall and this, that, whatever it is, right? What I'm saying is, listen, we got to get ours took care of before we start worrying about everybody else. That's all I'm saying. It sounds like y'all was doing a lot of worrying about the North Africans, the Cambodians. A lot of significant repair compared to what the African Americans got. You see what I'm saying? And continue to get where they got lobbying groups and all kinds of wild shit that African Americans couldn't even imagine doing right now. You know?
We got the Congressional Black Caucus. Are y'all serious?
Bro, really? Is you kidding me?
I'm dead ass.
We gotta cut this out. We gotta cut that out, Chef.
Yes.
That's like telling me America ain't racist no more because Barack Obama.
Never say America wasn't racist.
That's equivalent. I'm saying it's tantamount to say that's tantamount to saying that though, Chef.
No,
to me,
I'm saying that we have apparatus. No, Corey, listen. I'm saying that we have apparatus in place, right? To at least mitigate and fix our problems. Now, if we do a bad job at that, then at this point, then a lot of that onus goes on us, right? Because now we are full citizens. Now, anything that we don't get, what I'm saying is, the playing field is open to us like any other people. There's nothing stopping us at this point. So whatever the issue is, right? So whatever the issue is, it's up to us to fix it. Nobody else is holding us back. We have everything in place. Now, if the shit don't get done, right, it's not on the system anymore.
Wait, what? You said
what I'm saying is we need to focus on exactly what Sheffrin said.
Top of this damn pity party shit,
But
man.
hell with Cambodia. I don't give a damn about. I'm not feeling sorry about Cambodia. I don't feel sorry. I don't have. It's what Brad said. I don't have the luxury to feel sorry for them yet. You know what I mean? Now, maybe one day when I get repaired fully or somewhat as good as Japan did and the rest of them did, maybe I'll have the luxury to feel sorry for them. But right now, I just don't.
But you're the only one who can get the repairs that y'all are talking about. Can only come from. It can only come from you going to get them.
No, right. So once I get that took care of, once I handle my business, right?
You got to go handle your business. You got to go handle your business. Like it's
and that's fine.
Nobody is oppressing you no more.
We ain't handled our business yet.
What?
And
nobody is oppressing you.
What the
that's
fuck
fine,
is going
Jeff,
on in your
I'm not.
Time out.
I wouldn't say those words exactly, but I know what you mean. Right? I'm saying, give me a chance to get mine handled, though. You know what I'm saying? Give me a chance to get mine handled first.
No one is oppressing us right
now? Nobody is oppressing you right now, bro. I'm
hoping you mean. I'm hoping you don't mean that literally, right?
I meant literally. However y'all want to take it, I'm willing to argue.
God, bro. I told you, bro.
I get what you're saying, and I don't think that you mean that literally, bro. You know I'm down for a good argument. I done figured out. I will. I remember one day you were describing that stuff. Like, I will come look for you just to find a good argument. I don't think that this is. This don't even sound like you.
He just told you what you mean. However you want, and you try to clean, please pause, and you trying to make it make sense for what he's saying. Bro. He told you. Ain't nobody get up, get out, and get something.
Yeah, I'm giving Chef a minute to think about it.
You trying to clean it up.
I'm turning this shit.
I'm about 2 seconds from cussing.
He also said that, Barack Obama was the president, so we should be all right.
Jeff, I'm telling you, bro, you around the corner from me cussing your ass out to say what the shit you said. You losing. I told you, that's why I didn't want to see no ground, because I knew somewhere, I thought the first shit you said was offensive. Now I know that there was an overarching point to get to this point. Where's Mujasi when we need him? You need correction.
If he'd have hung there for a couple minutes, Joe, he'd have.
I'm not saying nothing.
Mujasi, me and you doing the show. No,
So
the fire pit is tomorrow morning.
I'm
Wednesday, me and you doing the show on the statement that nobody is no longer oppressing black folks in the United States. This is hilarious. This is I am hornswoggled.
we was riding in the car. We was going down the street. I look over and Chef to jump out the window.
I gotta get everybody out my car.
I got to
do my murder by myself. Listen, if I'm gonna get a body, it's gonna be by myself. I don't need you to follow it.
Yeah, Joe.
Corey was completely up. Corey was with you, and then you said that shit. He damn near was about to go oppress everybody on that site just to get his anger off on somebody. You out of your mind, Chef. You've stepped outside of your mind to have a conversation with us now. If you believe that shit, I don't even know you. I'm like the girl after 10 years of marriage. I don't even know who you are right now. I want a divorce. You are crazy.
All right, so look, so let's see what I'm saying, right? Check this out.
I don't know if I want to, Chef.
I gotta hear this.
Hold on. So check it out.
I'm on mute.
Now, am I saying that we're not on the bottom of every metric in American society, right? And I'm acknowledging that. And I'm acknowledging the reason why we're at the bottom is because of the inadequacies and racism that was prevalent in our society that put us behind, right? So I wouldn't say that none of that shit. The reason why we're behind and the reason why we feel as though we're still oppressed is because all of the gains that the larger society was able to get and move past us, you know what I mean, is a real thing. That racism actually damaged us. It put us behind. All right? Do anybody disagree with me on that?
Nope. We
I
all
keep
agree.
telling you I don't want to agree with your shit, because then you're gonna say at the very end of all me agreeing, then you're gonna have me locked step with we ain't oppressed on this planet. So I'm gonna say yes.
All you gotta do is keep your can of spray paint. That's all.
Keep your can of spray paint.
Okay.
That's all you gotta do.
Can of spray paint.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, I agree.
Don't let him run off. He gonna try to run off, but you can't let him run off.
So look,
go ahead,
look. The racism, right, and the oppression of Jim Crow, right, slavery and Jim Crow, put us behind, right?
Now that was oppression, right?
Yeah, all of that, right?
Okay.
Now, when we threw off all of that and got all of our
threw off of what? When did we throw off?
The slavery and the Jim Crow and all of that, and we got all of our rights, right? Now,
when did we get that? Now,
in the 1970s, in 1970s, I think the last Civil Rights Act was passed in the 70s, right? Now, that don't mean that the effects of that don't still linger and keeps us behind. That's
the effects of what? The effects of the what?
The effects of slavery and Jim Crow, right? Those debilitating
oppression. The effects of the oppression, right?
Yes. Yeah, I mean the effects of that. It then made us an underclass here. You dig what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm with you. Now you can talk about
we in lockstep. Go ahead.
Yeah, the red line and all of that shit is incorporated into that, right? So now you have these formerly, I'm going to say, once we got our rights, these formerly oppressed people, right? These formerly oppressed.
That's
because
hilarious,
So hold on. What would be oppressing you now if we didn't all of the legal things that made you a second-class citizen and oppressed you, once those things is lifted, the effects of those things are not lifted, right? You can still be walking around, right? If I put 200 pounds on your back, you're going to be slunched over, right? And I make you carry that for 6 miles, and I take that shit off your back is still going to be fucked up because of that, right? Totally, right? But I'm telling you, you can start to stand up now, bro. You feel me? You don't have to be lunched over no more. Look, the weight is
no, you can't. Not without the chiropractor, bro. The chiropractor got to come first to fix the back first, so you can stand up. Go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead.
So we had years of the chiropractor working on it. But there's some of us. There's some of us that don't want to stand up.
Let them die.
You got the Congressional Black Caucus. You got black men.
Stop naming them motherfuckers, bro. Stop using that name.
I don't even know who
if you're not going to make them do their if you're not going to make them do their job, then that shit is on you at this point. That shit is on you.
You know why they can't? Why? You know why we can't make them do their job? Because we didn't get the repair. So we don't have the money to throw behind them niggas and say, here go $5 million. Now go do what we told you to do, nigga. What he gonna do is with the folks who got the money, who can lobby and have him do what the fuck they want to do. Look at Clarence Thomas. Like, bro, listen, anybody can pay for him. We can pay for him. White folks can pay for him. Jewish, Arabs can pay. Anybody can pay for him, right? But the thing is, you got to have the money to pay for him. You see what I'm saying? And the folks who got the money to pay for Clarence Thomas, right, don't look like us and don't have our best interests at heart. So once they start repairing in the right way, like they do in Japan and the rest of these folks and all these folks right across the world,
not
that we
the same.
Stop bringing up the Congressional Black Caucus, though, man. And it's our fault. The Congressional Black Caucus is just the same representation of niggas in the DC. It's 60 of them. They gotta beat 475 motherfuckers, man. Like, stop bringing up. It's nobody. It's the Congressional Black Caucus was 13. Now it's 60.
Got no money.
They ain't got no money.
Everybody going to work for niggas if they ain't giving no money.
They can bring up shit, and then the president can vote that shit down, and the other 475 motherfuckers. Like, this ain't got to stop paying the Congressional Black Caucus like it's here to save us. For free. It's only 60 of them.
That's why I'm trying to figure out what nigga is Sheffrin going to work for with no money. I'm trying to figure that out. When did you start working for niggas who ain't got no money?
And watch.
I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot of work to be done, Sheffrin. So, as soon as you tell me when you start working for niggas who ain't got no money, I got a lot of work to be done. Go ahead.
If we can make Jay-Z and them rich, right? Then and that's only just buying albums and you dig what I'm saying? Basic consumer shit. You're telling me black people can't pool and put together money to get our issues. I don't think we trying hard enough. I'ma just
I know
say
you're
that.
pulling on heartstrings, but I want you to stay with that we're no longer
just say we ain't trying hard enough.
I feel like you're trying to change the conversation to something else. And we could talk about that another time. I want you to stand on that statement that we are no longer oppression, that we're no longer oppressed. When I know for a fact, and you know for a fact, oppression don't go nowhere.
I ain't say that racism didn't exist.
I didn't say nothing about racism.
Now,
you said oppression.
I told you what I said was oppressing us, right? I told you it was the legal system and our second-class citizenship, right?
So the legal system is helping us now.
But hold on. Once those things are removed, now you're in the same fight like everybody else.
Facts. Talk that talk. These niggas been crying all morning.
Hey, Chef. I'm gonna say the classic line, and I love my brother.
Niggas been yapping and crying.
Nigga just beat me in fantasy, bro.
White man. White man got mind control over you niggas.
Once Fetty started agreeing with you, though, you all fucked up.
I'm trying to give us agency.
He agreed.
That's y'all see what I'm saying?
Fetty though, nobody. I've been on the call though, Fetty.
He's standing on his like used to be doing.
Oh man. This has been a revealing. This has been a revealing morning.
He agreed with you, man. He's standing on. He giving his opinion. You doing that groupthink shit.
I'm starting. The more y'all say groupthink, the more I'm starting to release. I'm starting to think that it's a racial
anytime somebody try to hold black people accountable, y'all try to make it seem like the niggas saying some outlandish shit. Like, fuck out of here, bro.
When I say groupthink, I'm gonna start thinking Jim Crow from now on. Because every time y'all say groupthink,
it's too sensitive. I'm saying when you critique black people in any way, you try niggas gonna cast you out and act like you saying some crazy shit.
Yeah, I think groupthink is rage bait and gaslight. I think y'all trying to gaslight. And I'm
two people agree and two people disagree. I don't think there's a
groupthink where Chef is saying oppression. If y'all trying to gaslight, I'm gonna evoke the words of Eric Mays. I'm burnt to a crisp if y'all motherfuckers are saying that we no longer oppressed.
Why do y'all tell your children? Do y'all tell your children that you gotta get a piece? Do y'all tell your children you gotta get a piece before you move forward?
I didn't argue with Chef enough times to know what he means.
What is Tony saying?
So y'all thinking? I heard that y'all can't move until like something is given or something is
happening.
No, I said I'm not having empathy. Listen, brother. Hey, listen, let me clarify for you.
Yeah, Tony.
I said I'm not having empathy. I'm not having empathy for all these other groups until mine get repaired. Until I get the knife out of my neck, I can't worry about the guy that's laying down with a broken leg.
I'm not worried about nobody either. I'm with you on that. But I'm saying for the kids, like
okay, so I didn't with you the straw man that you about to build, you shouldn't have to go. Don't even fight him now.
I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm actually agreeing with you. I'm saying about the kids. What do you tell the kids? What do you tell them that they have to
make sure your shit together? I tell my kids make sure you take care of your business before you go worry about somebody else's shit.
Okay.
No, I'm telling them, but I'm also telling my children. I'm telling my children, and I tell my children, don't be focused on this meritocracy bullshit. Work twice as hard. You're gonna get. You might not get. Don't be focused on everybody else. You just work as hard as you're supposed to work.
Hold on. Meritocracy.
No, hold on. No, working hard is not
meritocracy.
No, it's not. You can say it 5 times. I'm gonna tell you it ain't that. Working hard is not meritocracy. Meritocracy has mechanisms to it. Working hard is one of them. The other two, the United States can't say that they've ever given. Because at the beginning of meritocracy, you can't have a meritocracy unless you start with an equal playing field. You can't have meritocracy unless the rewards at the end of all of that hard work would be the same as if somebody else did it. And I know for a fact that Black people can work 10 times as hard as somebody else and get nothing. You can look at the wage gap. You can look at the education. I can have the same education as you. I can have more experience than you. I can be better at the job than you, and you'll pay me less in the United States of America. So meritocracy doesn't fit the United States of America. Meritocracy don't fit capitalism. We can't have a capitalistic conversation and have a meritocratic conversation. So I don't the meritocracy thing, talk that meritocracy shit to somebody who don't know what meritocracy is. Y'all just talk about, just work hard. That's that pick yourself up by your bootstraps bullshit.
That's what you said.
No, I said it don't exist. I'm saying it ain't. It can't be meritocracy. It can't be meritocracy. Not in the United States. It can't be. I don't know where it can be, but I know for a fact meritocracy. Meritocracy don't even work for white people in the United States. Meritocracy don't exist in the United States. They do that shit to their own people. Forget us trying to get a meritocratic chance. They do that to their own people.
In Virginia don't work hard.
Yeah.
You think them white folks in Virginia and them coal mines ain't working hard, working their asses off, killing themselves for America? For the meritocracy, they the hardest working motherfuckers, but look at the conditions they live in.
Yeah, you
Black
can always
women.
change those.
Black women is the highest educated demographic in America. Hold on, real quick. Black women is the highest educated demographic in America. Yet they are the biggest victims of wage theft in America.
If you're in
and they work their asses off.
No, I know, but if you choose to be in an industry, where wages are not fair, that's your choice.
Said delicioso.
I didn't pick
Mute your mic, Fetty. I don't know if you're talking business.
Eddie up there talking Spanish.
Yeah, he's talking to some woman.
So if you pick a wage of an industry that doesn't pay well, and then you choose to stay in it, you can't complain about it. You choose.
What if your industry don't pay well? You didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said.
He's talking about the economy as a whole. We ain't talking about industries. They're the most educated single group as a whole. The economy as a whole commits wage theft, not just the engineering part, the entire part. So what? You can't choose to be a part of an economy in the United States?
You can't choose to if you wanna like move along.
So be homeless, so you ain't got to worry about getting paid.
He don't
No,
even.
when
He
you
don't.
if you're looking to move along, you can't choose. You can't choose
Yeah,
an
he
industry
ain't
that
getting what y'all saying. Y'all, there's a brick wall going on.
This is all about choices. I mean, for me, it's all about choices.
What if you ain't got no choice? What, hold on, Tony. I know you saying it's all about choices, and I would
oh my
agree.
God,
But what
I'm coming.
happens when you
I'll
ain't
be
got
back
no
later.
fucking
I
choice?
didn't realize that
It's
was
all about
Tony. I'll be
real
back
hard
later,
choices, really difficult choices to make. That's what it's really
Bro,
all
that's
about.
a black person's existence in America every day. Getting in your car, going outside, driving past a cop.
I'm not talking about everyday stuff. I'm talking about career choices and life plans and life decisions. You don't, what I'm saying?
So when I mean, yeah, but listen, it's a veiled choice. When a white person goes to make a decision to go buy a house, we all making life choices. But the fact that I'm gonna get denied at a 23-1 rate, the fact that my interest rate's gonna be higher, the fact that they're gonna put me into a neighborhood that I ain't even looking at, the fact that I may qualify for some shit that they're not even gonna offer to me. My choices, then you'll say that my choices, I chose this. You got shuffled into
you're
this.
Coming off
you know what this sounds like? This sounds like Chief X. This sounds like the motherfucking ain't no supremacy. What are we doing?
You're coming off a position of weakness. Like you're saying that you can't decide how much mortgage you get. There's 100 million Black Americans doing that right now. There's a bunch of people doing you're saying that people position you in low. They don't do that. You pick where you want to live.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. Okay. You talking to a nigga that sell houses and you trying to tell me how the fucking real estate industry works. You out of your rabbit ass mind. I work on committees to solve the shit that you just said don't exist. Are you out of your mind?
Well,
what do you actually know versus what you saying? I sit on boards that look at.
What makes you think I didn't get out of? Listen, I'm just telling you.
The same thing that you just said don't exist. There are boards with millions of dollars behind them that are fighting the thing that you're saying is a ghost.
I don't see there's issues everywhere, right? But generally speaking, like people say, you're not oppressed anymore. You can, if the system is so.
Are you saying you're weak?
Let me finish. You don't let me finish. You have really terrible resolution conflict skills. You don't let people finish.
Nigga.
There you go. Let me play my point. Listen.
Man, I don't want to hear that shit. Fuck you mean? You and we and all this other shit. This shit sound like some ignorant shit. Of course I'll let you finish if you say something that makes fucking sense. You gonna tell me you talking about my son, nigga.
Brass. I don't know. I got triggered. I just kicked him. He'll probably jump back in.
You fucking crazy, nigga. Who you talking to?
Yeah.
You have conflict resolution issues. You this. I'll let you finish if you ain't calling me a nigga without calling me a nigga. The fuck is wrong with you? Y'all, some of this shit I don't abide, bro. Some of this shit I don't abide. Some of this shit is funny, but some of this shit ain't funny, bro. When y'all say that shit is incensing. We don't have good conflict resolution. You don't know me. You don't know my grandmother. You don't know my son. Y'all just making blanket fucking statements about Black people that's ignorant as fuck.
No, I'm making a statement based on what you are saying, not other Black people. You
just started talking about conflict resolution. I wasn't talking about no fucking conflict resolution.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that what we should be doing is, if you don't like where you're working, if you don't like where you live.
Now you saying we.
What?
You said you before. You're picking it. Listen, when you talk about the things that's negative, you keep saying you.
Let me just finish what I'm saying. Let me just finish what I'm saying. There was a time where, if you didn't like where you work, you didn't like where you live, or you didn't, there were people that were literally stopping you from doing that. But that doesn't really exist anymore. The weight is there, someone said the weight's there. You know, you got those. It's there. You know, you feel it, but no one's stopping you from paying $45 to start your own business. No one is stopping you from applying for or getting education or doing whatever you need to do to get through in life. Nobody's really stopping you.
Are we talking about America still?
Yeah.
Tony, can I ask you a question, bro? Because I need to understand your foundational fabric of thinking to understand where you're coming from now. Now, what you're speaking about is personal barriers that people may have, but there is a such thing as systematic barriers that are applied upon a certain group of people within this diaspora. Now, what you're saying, there's not a person hanging over you telling you, yo, don't touch the doorknob. There's no gun to your head. But we're trying to say there are systematic doors that we're not allowed to get to because of the overt oppression covert oppression that's happening. And we're not trying to say that someone can't achieve a goal if they put their mind to it, but there are certain deterrents that you have to overcome. That's all we're trying to say, Tony. And I'm trying to see.
No, there's a hell of a lot of stuff we have to overcome. Oh, I agree. I agree with that. We have to overcome it. We can't, we have to overcome it. Period.
So now, what's the contention what Brass is saying? Because Brass is saying the exact same thing. I'm trying to see if we're looking at the same hill just from a different perspective, or is there actual contention what Brass is saying?
I believe there's always going to be. Look, there's always going to be people in your way. Always, everywhere you go. I don't care. There is no utopian land. There is never going to be a place where not even Africa wants us. There's no place. There's no place. So that's the reality of it. We're not. It's just the reality of it. We definitely have to do everything we can in government and business and community to change that. But we got white folks on it. So my point is,
we got what?
There's white folks on top of us. They're always manipulating us. One way or the other. Through government or whatever way they do their thing. But what I'm saying, through all that, you can still make decisions that are going to be beneficial to your generation. You know what I'm saying? Beneficial to your family. That. Despite of all the craziness.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
Mujasi, stop me when I'm wrong. So just so we're clear about something, right? There's a statement that it keeps me very. As soon as I start thinking that there's nothing wrong, there's a statement I always make to make clear that for as much as we keep saying nothing is wrong, oppression never ends, it evolves. So what you don't see as the German Shepherd and the hose, all of that, you might not see. It might not still be particularly that, but when the wealth gap is 250,000 to 44,000, it's still here. When black men are 6% of the population, but 40% of the prison population, it's still here. When housing studies show that banks deny black mortgage applicants at 5 times higher rate, even with the same income and credit as whites, it's still here. Schools in black districts receive $23 billion less per year in funding than majority white districts. Black maternal mortality 2 to 3 times higher than black. No, let me finish. I'll let you talk. Let me finish. The Fugitive Slave Act of the 1850s, I want to make a point. This is to Chef left, but this is also to Chef too, because this is still a recorded show. Slavery, 1619 to 1865, Jim Crow, 1877 to 1965, mass incarceration, 70s to today. 3 different oppressions, an evolution from slavery to mass incarceration that is still going on today. Fugitive Slave Act to stop and frisk broken windows, slave patrols to modern over-policing of black neighborhoods, plantation overseers, prison guards in majority black prisons, convict leasing, prison labor today, redlining maps of the 1930s, racial wealth gap today, white-only schools in Jim Crow, school funding gaps today, voting tests and poll taxes. Then, voter ID laws, voter roll purges, gerrymandering, closed polling places in black areas, sharecropping debt traps then, predatory lending and subprime mortgages now, medical neglect and slavery, experiments on enslaved women today, black maternal mortality crisis, 3 times higher death rate, slave auction blocks then, modern racialized child welfare system today, lynching spectacle then, police killings filmed today, exclusion from the GI Bill, once again, racial wealth gap in veteran families today, black codes limiting your movement, driving while black today, ban on enslaved literacy, today's underfunding of black schools. So if the effects of the oppression remain, and then the actual oppression remains, we just get in the evolution of it in modern times. I don't want to fucking hear that we're not being oppressed. I don't want to hear that there's nothing holding us back. Because there are things holding us back, and the oppression never went nowhere. It just evolved.
Have some accountability in your talk, though. Have some accountability.
Fetty. While you was gone, he's talking to another point. He's not talking to your point. This when you was gone, it's to a point, Fetty. So don't.
My accountability is in my actions. My accountability is what I do, but I'm not gonna sit and look at a motherfucker that's in jail. I'm not gonna look at I'm gonna land my plane on this point. I'm not gonna. I have accountability in my own actions, but I'm not going to look at a motherfucker that went to jail in the 1980 or late 70s for a fucking gram of crack, and it had to do 40 years, and then also tell him nothing was holding him back when he did the same thing as a motherfucker that was selling a kilo of crack and got 5. Kilo of cocaine and got 5. Like we can't sit on this pedestal and think we the talented 10th or something on the YouTube and just realize and think that what goes for us, because we somehow successful and feel like we made it out, we just gonna forget everybody else and just start saying
you're gonna let me land my plane? I'm running out of gas here.
No, go ahead and take off.
Okay, the last thing I wanted to say is no, I'm not. I've achieved some fucking success, but it was due to the fact that I was tired of the bullshit. And so I decided to do other things. I said, I'm going to stop doing, I'm going to stop trying
like 80%. You sound like 80% of black people.
Well, I'll admit I am half black. I'm 65% black.
No, what I'm saying is 85% of black people said, fuck it. We don't give a damn what they do to us. We're going to be successful anyway.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't care what's
going
on.
That don't mean that those same 85% of black people ain't being held back in some way, shape, or form. Right?
Right. But my point is that we have to look into that. We have to see what decisions have you made. Are you going to school? Are you taking a trade class? Are you moving towards
20% of black people probably did make bad decisions. 20% of black people probably 10 to 20% of black people probably did make bad decisions, right? But the 85%,
we're not all gonna make it. We're not gonna all make it.
It's not making it though. 85%
we're not all gonna make it, but I can guarantee 85%
of black people ain't made it though.
I'm not gonna check you on your numbers. I'm not gonna do any of that. But what I'm simply saying is, look, we don't have a land, man. This is not our land. We don't have a land, but this is where we are now. And we have white people on top of us. It's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that way until things start changing in terms of who's in government and how many babies we're having and how the ethnicity of the country changes. But right now that's just the way it is, and we do everything we do to change it, but we cannot also work in that same system. We have to create our own systems to be successful.
Some of your talking points certainly like sound like extreme right wing. Right? Like
No,
you complain about how many babies we have. Like that's
well, no, that's true because if you're not, if black people aren't, if ethnic people aren't having children and white people are, it's always going to be a white dominated country.
I mean, but when you say that, you're literally talking about our population, our numbers of population, like dissatisfies you in some sort of way.
No,
right? Like,
I'm giving you the reality. Well, yeah, I wish we had more. I wish we were producing more kids so we could have more people, more of us, more. You know what I'm saying? But that's not happening.
That's not what you just said, though.
I'm saying that white folks are producing kids, right? Little less, than before. But in order to change the fabric of this country, we have to have more of people that look like us here.
That ain't gonna change shit.
We don't have that. We're not
having a numbers conversation though, Tony. Numbers ain't the problem. Numbers ain't we could be the majority here. If we don't fix the structures and systems, we'll still be
need more,
whatever we are. Y'all talking about numbers.
More people.
That ain't even how that works.
Nobody
ever said to solve racism was make more black.
It's not just kids. Let me explain.
Is this the first time I'm hearing that the solution to white supremacy and racism is have more black kids?
Let me explain why. If you don't have kids that look like you and think like you and feel like you in government and in business and in every aspect of you're going to be underrepresented.
Oh man,
that's not true.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm
gonna give you presidents.
I don't even understand how that makes sense to you.
Well, I'm gonna give you a presidents so you understand. Okay,
president.
A presidents like that it happened before. It's happening now.
Precedent. Okay, precedent. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it's happening now, and I'm going to bring up the Islamic group again. What are they doing? They're doing exactly what I'm suggesting. It's like they're putting their children in every aspect and every fabric of civilization. Why? So they can push their own agenda, their own religion is really what they're pushing, but their own way of life.
What facet of American society ain't black people involved in? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Well, we need more of it. We need more people that represent us because the black folks, let me finish, because the black folks that you're talking about that are in the corporate world, these are not people from our community.
But people from certain communities can't get into certain parts of corporate, or not in mass. Not in America.
No, but we have more. There's a higher probability that'll happen. Some of those kids that you're having, some of them will own businesses. Some of them will go into government. Some of them will
what other ways can you think of, Tony, other than have more babies?
We ain't having babies. Is that what he's saying? Black
it's an aspect.
He started off saying that us having babies was a part of our problem. Right? He started off by saying it's a part of the problem. Now he's walking it back and making it a part of his solution.
I'm not walking shit back.
Tony, other than us having more babies, what else can we do to get into these higher positions?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's not just having more babies. We have to have people that, like, for example, some of the people that do succeed outside of government and outside of like other organizations, perhaps in entertainment and business, they don't ever give back to the community. That goes back to what I was telling you. We have to pump out our own people from our own communities that represent the community, so that when they go into business and when they go into government, they're representing our plight, not a liberal white plight. They're actually representing our plight. So
you won't get over, but you skipping the part about the structure. Why do y'all forget in these conversations? Not just you. I'm talking to Chef also. Why do y'all forget in these conversations that America is not structured in a way to where even if we were more than 12% of the population, the structure there's shit to keep this stuff in place.
All right, that was
It ain't no have more. They still got to get elected. They still got to run.
Exactly.
I told you about voting. So what? You think the solution is have more black people?
That's part of it. That's part of it.
What's the other part then? Maybe the other part will make the first part that don't make no sense make some sense to me. So have more black people, then what?
No, you have more. You just gotta have more folks in the. You just gotta have more, or otherwise you're always gonna be.
I don't even think you're serious. You laughing when you say it to yourself.
Because this shit is so obvious. Like it's so obvious.
No, the shit is so asinine. That's why you laugh.
Well,
you laughing.
It's not. And ideas are not asinine. The idea to doing the same thing over and over again for 50 years.
You said Muslims asinine. Just had more
that's
babies.
Trying to work within the system of people that you say oppress you. That's asinine. Trying to fill out applications and paperwork and giving it to the same people that you say, that's asinine. You need to work outside the system so you can create your own system, not your own government and your own.
So we need to segregate. So you're saying we need to segregate. So you're saying we need to segregate in an integrated system. We need to somehow so is this an FBA conversation?
I'm just putting out my idea.
I'm asking you. You just described FBA. So are you talking about like a Pan-Africanist kind of thing where we all just live in America amongst ourselves?
No.
I don't know. You just said that.
I'm saying
who we gonna give the applications to? If you're saying it's asinine to go get a job and give them an application to get the job, then who the fuck to get the job are we supposed to?
If you're thinking that, I don't think that way. But if you're thinking that
way,
I don't think that way. Look, I don't think that way.
If you don't think that way, why'd you just say?
Finish my point. You're trying to find.
No. I want you to.
You don't let me finish my point.
If you're not clear on your first point, I can't
your own argument.
I can't understand your second point if I'm not clear on the first one. You just said a minute ago that it's asinine to give applications, right? To get applications from the same people, I'm assuming, that oppressed us. You just said that. Then when I said it back, right. But then when I just said it back to you just now, you said you didn't say that. You said you don't think
that's not what I said. That's not what I said. What I'm trying to explain your point. You're not letting me. That's the problem. You're not letting me. You go from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next.
Move on with your point before I get upset. Go ahead.
Go get upset. You can get upset. It doesn't matter if you get upset. You're 2,000 miles away from me, my boy. You can get upset. That's
Tony,
stupid to get upset.
Let me
finish my sentence.
No, Tony, be clear. It does matter if me in particular gets upset because you won't ever talk again. That's what I mean by I know you think everybody in here wants to fight you or something like that.
You're not going to.
I don't have to.
All right, go ahead. All right, I'll let you speak. All right, go ahead, my boy. Go ahead, talk.
Okay, thank you. And I'm not your boy, but okay. And you don't let me do a goddamn thing
because you don't want me.
And you don't let me do a goddamn thing. So I just want to be clear. I don't know why every time you get into these conversations, you start talking about fighting or somebody about to come see you or something like that. That ain't what I mean. What I'm saying to you is that if I'm throwing a show, this ain't just an open Discord panel. If I'm running a show and I'm trying to host a show, if I didn't get your point and you move on to something else, it ain't always for a conversation between me and you. I'm also trying to have decent content, right? Have like to where the crowd can understand what we're talking about. I don't want this to get out and you sound absolutely insane, right? This ain't a get you gotcha job. But I will say this to you though. The physical threats and discourse, it never works. It sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. So just stop with the I can't get to you and you can't get to me, because I ain't say nothing like that. I would never do that. Go ahead and say your point.
You're the one talking about getting upset.
Don't mean I'm gonna hit you. I can get upset. I get upset all the time in here.
Don't get upset, man. Don't need to get upset because once you get upset, you're gonna get emotional.
No, but I'm never gonna threaten you. I'm not gonna like threaten to hit physically. I'm upset. I was upset
in my other fish bowls that I talk to, people don't talk to me like that. They don't say I'm getting upset. You know, you're about to cross the borderline, like all this dumb shit. Like no, I don't. Nobody like I don't talk to people like that anywhere else. Only in this fish bowl. Like if you get upset, I'm not gonna change the way I'm talking. You just get me out of the Discord. I'm not gonna change for no goddamn body. Learn that by now. I'm not gonna agree with you. I'm not gonna because I'm in the fish bowl. I'm not
DQ and Logic. Am I missing something?
Mute him.
No, I'm just trying to say. I don't know if he like. I'm trying not to take it personal, but is he just like talking to me? I feel like he's talking to me crazy.
I was just trying to tell you, if you don't have more influential people that look like you and think like you in government and business, you're always going to be a second-class citizen. If you don't get more people like you starting businesses and doing their own thing so they could bring their own people in within the American government system, you're always going to be a second-class citizen. If you don't like what's going on and it's moving too slow, you may have to start your own business and fight the oppression and still own your business and be able to get that money that you need to take care of your children and still fight oppression. You could do it both, but the two.
What my antennas say about Tony, first off, no, you're not tripping. But from what I gather from Tony is Tony actually is not used to this level of pushback, right? So to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of times, even when we're trying to like understand what he's saying, it come off as kind of incoherent because it'd be like a blend of all type of shit we ain't never heard of, and then somewhere in there, it kind of seemed like you got some right wing information in there mixed in. Now, as far as like why he's so jumpy today, I don't know. But other than that, that's the read I get. Yes, he is a little jumpy today.
Hey Tony, where you at? What location of the United States you at?
I'm in Florida.
You're in Florida. Florida. What part of Florida?
I'm in Broward.
Oh Jesus! I'm in Broward. I'm in Florida. I'm in Miramar. Tony is a second-generation immigrant. Tony,
now watch Two-Piece talk about me like he knows me.
Tony, are you FBA? Simple question.
You can't hear.
Are you FBA?
I don't really want to talk to you, man, because I remember last time you spoke to me, you were talking about if I'm black or if I'm this or that. Like, I don't know.
Are you FBA?
I'm none of that.
You're FBA or you're second generation?
I'm not FBA. I'm none of that. I'm not FBA. If I'm this, that, I'm none of that. I'm just an individual. Listen to me. You want to put me in a box? You want to try to put me in a box like you put everybody else? You call me Tony.
Are you second generation immigrant? I just figured it out. You realize I haven't been talking. I've been listening. And I said, you sound like a second generation immigrant.
Yeah.
Chances are,
but we didn't immigrate though. We didn't immigrate though.
You didn't immigrate? Your parents did, right?
No, not my parents, my grandparents.
Your grandparents did. Oh Jesus! I figured you out.
And they started a business, and they listen to me.
Let's do peace talk. Let's do peace talk.
And listen to me. No, listen to me. And listen to me.
Let's do peace. Finish this talk, bro.
I figured you out. What's happening here is that people don't understand. That's why sometimes I'm not mad at Tariq. People who came here in the 70s as a result of brain drain was sometimes our most educated. And when the most educated come, because they came and they so-called pull themselves up by the bootstrap, they indoctrinate their children with a certain kind of thinking. You can pull yourself up by the bootstrap. And they tend to pull on the exception and saying that the exception changed the rule. And because they're coming to Broward now, I'm in Broward, I live in a relatively nice neighborhood, and a lot of immigrants live in Borough in relatively nice neighborhood. They tend to look down on the nose on other people who don't live in the Pembroke Pines area that is across from university. University is the dividing line in Pembroke Pines and Miramar. If you live on one side of university, you're not doing so well. If you live on the newer side, you're doing better. Right? And these people tend to be very indoctrinated. They have the same thought pattern that he has. This pull yourself up by the bootstrap, this I did it, my family came here, and now we live in an 800,000 house, so we're better than. It's a kind of snobbery. But once you listen to them and listen to them long enough, you realize that they think they're better than. He thinks he's better than. That asshole thinks he's better than. Because he comes in here for the last 5 times I've heard him, he has made the same argument that has been displayed. But he always come back with the same argument. He tells me 2 things about him. One, he does not respect the opinion of anybody on the panel. Because if you did respect the opinion of anybody on the panel, you'd go back and do your research. And he has not done that. And the second thing he tells me about him is that he's a coon. He listens to right-wing conservative and he applies it because he has some money in his pocket. Oh, I live in a nice neighborhood. I drive a nice car. I have them up here. I have them up here. The second generation Jamaicans that are up here, many of them is like him. Many of them is like him. That is what we're dealing with. That's why sometimes when Tariq talk, I have to shut the fuck up. I have to shut up because I've seen it. This dude don't respect anybody on the panel. He's always coming back with the same talking point. If you come back with the same talking point 3, 4, 5 times, it shows a genuine lack of respect for the thoughts and opinion of anybody that you're speaking to. Because if it's being rebutted, and you cannot accept that it's being rebutted,
I'm gonna give him the opportunity. I'm gonna give him the opportunity to respond. Though. When you points, I get your point. I get your point, but my issue is just, and that one that don't explain Fetty. Like that don't explain Fetty to me at all. If they're saying that that's what that's what it is, I agree with you. But then what is then where does Fetty's talking points come from? Because he's in lockstep with Tony. I don't understand Negroes that do that. Let me let Tony respond. I had to mute him so I can get your point, but go ahead, Tony. Oh, he's not talking. But that's the part I don't understand. I don't understand where a person, especially specifically us. I always listen to when a person is talking to me uses you and we, stupid. Mm-hmm. Whenever somebody's talking to me and everything that's the weakness and the problem and this, that, and the other, it's you. But then when we start talking about our successes and what we've done right and it's I or we. Like I know that guy that's sitting in, I know that the guy that got locked up in the 90s and is doing 40 years for fucking draconian laws, draconian probation laws, draconian parole laws, draconian drug laws. I know very well that motherfucker could be me. I know that. I know that George Floyd could be me. So I never forget that. I never forget that. No matter what success I have, I know that could be me.
Yeah, but how many black men got locked up for planted evidence? Many did. Thousands of black men got locked up for evidence planted.
That did nothing at all. No, I'm not saying that. I just don't like. I don't like the.
No, what Stupid's talking about is even the paraphernalia. How many black men got locked up for having a piece of plastic
Right.
That was deemed some drug
paraphernalia.
Yeah. That was turned into drug. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't understand. I wish Shepard could have fleshed out his point, but you know what happens though, Corey? When a motherfucker say that we're no longer oppressed, and Chef might be trying to get to something that makes sense, the motherfuckers that really feel like that with no coherency, no transparency at all, that gives license to them motherfuckers to pull your boot.
Yeah, they hit onto his wagon. Yeah. They hit right onto his wagon and ride and veer the wagon off from where it was going, right? Yeah,
right.
I definitely. And that's the danger.
That's what makes it problematic.
Those
right?
are the dangers.
I know Chef got
that.
enough sense, right? Chef got enough sense to be explaining what he's talking about.
It's a form of capitulating to me, and capitulation is dangerous. You see what I'm saying? That's the point that I was trying to make to Sheffrin, right? The capitulation is the dangerous part, right? Because we can look at and say that you know we need to start taking some responsibility. We can look at inwards at ourselves, but the moment we start denying the obvious things as oppression, or that we equivocating the oppression with some other group or whatever, that's when that creeps in. That's when bad actors are able to hitch their wagon to you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
No, but let me say something. If you can hear me, let me say something. You see the problem. One of the many problems that we face here, and I'm going to start addressing the whole immigrant issue because I'm an immigrant. Where I live in Miramar. The Miramar is an anomaly in Florida. Pembroke Pines is beside Miramar, but Miramar is primarily black. It's a black middle class community in Florida. The mayor is of Jamaican descent, or the commissioner. Most people in government is black. A significant proportion of the police force in Miramar is black. Crime rate in Miramar is low. It's an anomaly. Tons of nurses live in Miramar. Tons of black pharmacists live in Miramar. If you throw a stone in Miramar, you're going to hit a black nurse. Right? So the average income in Miramar, household income, is above $150,000 a year. Easy. Easy like Sunday morning. Right? Black people, when the police stop in Miramar, is a whole total different situation. Because 90% of the time, it's going to be a black police officer. The professionalism is different. Even the white police approach is different because over Red Road, over the place there, is majority black people.
You're not supposed to hammer it to get it started?
Yeah.
Get your mic larger.
Yeah. So black people get treated different in Miramar. Ask anybody who lives in Miramar, they will tell you. But the same black person who lives in Miramar will drive over to Pembroke Pines, which is 5 minutes away, which although have a large black population, is majority white administrative. The police officers there, when a Pembroke Pines police officer stop you, is a white police officer. 99% of the officers in Pembroke Pines are white. And they're assholes. It's a total different treatment. So we get disillusioned and think that the America on a whole is Miramar, when it is not. Right? Black people in Miramar start thinking that all of America is Miramar. And it is not. Ask anybody who knows about Broward will tell you that Miramar is an abnormality. But you live here, so you start to buy into the bullshit and start feeling that, oh, this is what America look like. This is America. I remember one time I went to the barber when I just came up here, and he asked me if America. I said, no, I live in Miramar. I said, what's the difference? And so when I drive into Disney World, and I don't drive the 95, and I take the scenic route through the sugar cane, I know the difference. You get treated differently there. When you stop somewhere, people look at you different as a black person. But if you spend most of your time in Miramar as that person, you think that, oh, this place is so nice to black people. So you start falling to the disillusionment. You start the oh Lord, tongue twister. You start believing the lie. You start believing that this is America. When no, this is Miramar. This is a city full of black professionals.
So he's saying that this is a fishbowl while he live in a fishbowl?
He lives in a fishbowl.
Okay.
I live in the same fishbowl, so that's why I can tell you. That's why I could tell you. You know, him shut the fuck up. When I start hearing him, I say, oh, you are second generation immigrant. When he said you live in Bowen, I said, oh, you live in Miramar or Pembroke Pines. Immediately I sussed him out because I've been listening to him for weeks now to say, where is he from? Where did he get these thought patterns? Then the more I hear him talk, I realize that his accent isn't primarily American. Where is he from? Few please figure him out. Listen to him. He's going to tell on himself. This is a pull yourself up by the bootstrap Negro who came here. His family was relatively successful. Probably one of the brighter Jamaicans who ran away in the 70s. During the brain drain, one of the doctor, the pharmacist, or the business person who ran away to America in the 70s, who was originally in New York, then come down to Florida, to Fort Lauderdale or somewhere like that.
The crazy part is I don't know. I don't think. I mean, human beings can say whatever they want. And Tony, you're not on mute, so say what you want. But y'all can say that stuff, but some of this stuff, this whole thing started with the uniqueness. What we went through ain't no different than what everybody else went through. There's dangers saying that shit. I'm telling you.
The danger is this. The danger is that some Negroes, when they become elevated, they start looking down instead of looking across. Instead of seeing the same person who's down as themselves, they start saying that, why didn't you do what I did? Not realizing that they're the exception and not the rule. They're the exception and not the rule.
I gotta agree with you there. I don't know. Sometimes cause see another thing is I'm trying to be careful that this ain't like some like I'm getting lost or I'm doing victimhood. But I can't forget them people, bro. I cannot forget I got lucky. Coming from the neighborhoods that in Newark where I came from, I got lucky. That's the only thing I can honestly say. Because I got so many friends. I got so many friends in prison, bro. I got so many friends in I got friends in corporate America. I got friends as entrepreneurs, but I got distinctly the ones I remember is not the ones that that I need to be concerned with. I got friends that were, as a kid, you don't know it or not, but they were smarter than me. That had that were definitely had more drive than I did. They were in a better situation. Valedictorian in high school was in prison. For being in a car. He was just for being in a stolen car. That car hit somebody, killed them. He's still in prison today. From the early 2000s.
The brightest dude I ever know in high school.
Ridiculous.
I went to a top-notch high school in Jamaica. I went to a school in Jamaica named Arden High School. The first black spelling bee ever in the world. The Jamaican girl, Jodie Ann, who won the spelling bee, went to Arden High School. That's the high school I went to. She was 11 years old because we start high school different in America than in Jamaica than in America. You start high school between 10 and 11. Depends on when you pass the common entrance back in the day. Now you start at 11. But when I went to high school, I went to high school at 10. So by 15, you could be done with high school. That's the high school I went to. Top grade high school in Jamaica. Right? My brightest friend was a dude we call Herbalist. But he come from an inner city community. the disadvantage that he faced when coming to high school without lunch money or bus fare. His parents was very poor. He was the brightest dude up in the class until 9th grade. And then he dropped out. But some other asshole in this room now would say that, oh, he was worthless, not understanding his struggle. Because you had parents who could provide you a little more than his, and your opportunities, you got better opportunities. You're implying that you're better than herbalists?
Yeah, and my other question would be, and I don't know if maybe I missed something because I wasn't a part of these conversations that y'all was in. Hopefully, y'all can inform me. What was the fucking point of the but we need to work on our conflict resolution skills? Is that like the word of the day or something? Where did that come from? Where that's like the fourth time I done heard that in like a week or two. Did y'all have a conversation about black people and their conflict resolution skills or something? Every time we start talking about equality, everybody starts talking about our fucking conflict resolution.
It's fine.
Yeah, and that goes to the youth because the black adults don't have issues with conflict resolution. You know, by the time you reach 25, 30 years old, bro, you're not having a conflict resolution issue. You know what I'm saying? It's those younger generations, which is the same thing with all young. You can get a group of white, you look at the Groypers. You don't think them motherfuckers need some conflict resolution? You know what I mean? Like, and then it goes to the whole the black on black crime, right? I mean, that shit is wild to me because you can look at white folks, look at the political landscape. Look at all of the assassinations, the school shootings, the political shootings and killings and assassinations, all this. And within this, let's not even, we don't have to go through American history. Let's go from the last 5 to 10 years. And you look at every single piece of political violence, whether it's somebody's getting kidnapped or plotted on getting kidnapped, whether somebody's running up in somebody's house and shooting them and all their kids and their family, whether it's they taking a shot at the president, right? Whether they're sending death threats and following congressmen and women's grandkids to kindergarten and the wildest shit that you can think of, right? All this is being white on white crime, which they don't have good conflict resolution because somebody disagrees or whatever with what your talking point is. Now you want to do political violence. Now you want to assassinate somebody and this and that and the other. So I don't think like the conflict resolution is as big as a problem in the black community as one would lead. I think we have a problem with young people having conflict resolution, but that's throughout America.
Yeah, I would say that's a human thing.
Corey, you're not missing it enough. You see when people start using the word like conflict resolution when referring to black people, is a way to say that we are uncivilized.
No, you're calling me an ape.
You're calling me
what you're doing is you're doing the monkey shit. Now, and I know I'm not. Listen, Stoopies, I be having to really try to make sure because I'm a motherfucker that gets offended. Like I'm not quick to strike, but I'm damn sure I'm a person that like if I don't really understand necessarily what you're saying, but you keep saying the same shit, and it's starting to sound like this is from being on these political conversations all the time. I'm real kind of my ears perked up for the disrespect, and that's why sometimes I'll say, "Hold on, is this nigga disrespecting me on the low?" So that's why when I said I was getting upset, my point is I'm trying to hear your point, but every time motherfuckers start talking, every time it's like the other day when we was talking, then everybody start talking about Chicago and black on black crime and this, that, and the other. It's like I don't know if you trying to be, I don't know what you're doing. I don't think you're trying to make a point. I think you're trying to be disrespectful, and because I can't catch it, now you about to get away with some shit. So no, I'm not gonna just no. When you say black people need to work on their conflict resolution, I just want him to understand, and whoever else says that, you talking about my grandmother too. when you just make a blanket statement like that. You're talking about my son. He's just an out of control savage.
Right.
He just gonna kill a motherfucker.
Brass, I'm glad you understand that when they're saying that what they mean. And then black people running with it now. And what the Charlie Kirk death has shown me is that we are in so much trouble as a black people. As a people, we're in so much trouble that the talking points of right-wing fanatic has creeped into our community, and black people is using those talking points to describe other black people. That's what I get from Charlie Kirk, and I listen carefully. And when I hear black people agreeing with some of the narratives that this man is saying, that imply that we are less than. I had this conversation with Majasti the other day, and I said, when I define myself, I am a man first, then I'm black. But guess what? Many persons don't understand that when a white person says black man, is different than when a black person says black man. Because when Corey said black man, he's seen that other person as a man. If Corey said to me, said, Stupid is a black man, I know that Corey means that I'm a man just as though he is a man. That Brass is a man just as though all three of us are men. But when a white person says black man, I don't know what he means. Because why couldn't he just say, I am a man?
I ain't never heard nobody put it that way, but that makes sense to me.
Why did he?
I ain't never heard nobody say no shit like that, but I ain't never even think
about it. Right? So even when people say, even when the news put it as the first thing, when Charlie Kirk killer come on the line, nobody heard him say white man. But if it was a black person, you don't hear black man. Because what they're indicating is that the catchword is that when a white person is a black man, are they saying that, oh, we expected this level of savagery because that person is black? So he's not the same measure of a man.
But
let me go after
this
Corey.
goes to your point about like danger that we're in, right? And we don't even realize
Corey, you gotta go out.
It's kind of a new age. Let me move over. I'll get in the good area. Am I good now? I should be good. I got bars.
Yeah.
I'm good. All right. So what's happening is we're becoming unsavvy, right? And it's because the way kind of the world moves a little faster now. So like the adults now, your kids ain't becoming unsavvy, but it's hard for them to kind of understand because they don't have a historical context, right? In a way, they become unsavvy, right? But you have when you got to look at this online world, right? What's going on is there's it's a danger because we actually got like the FBI director saying things, giving like saying basically white supremacist shit. So like when y'all heard Cash Patel talk about how we caught the killer of Charlie Kirk, right? And then he said, well, I'll see you in Valhalla. Did y'all hear him say that?
Yep.
So most black people, the overwhelming vast majority of black people have no idea what that guy's talking about. They don't know what the fuck he's talking about, right? But this is like Viking heaven. This is something that racist, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, this is some of their pagan beliefs. Because, neo-Nazis aren't just kind of like Christian. They got this kind of like pagan type that's kind of shrouded in Christianity, right? This is kind of pagan belief that's shrouded in, some Christianity, right? But it goes to what Stu P is saying. We don't realize the dangers we in. And we have white supremacy growing in a way and growing bolder and bolder every day to where we got the FBI director feel like it's okay for things like "I'll see you in Valhalla." You know what I mean? But I just wanted to put that out there just to let y'all know, like we need to we need to continue to fight against the mis and disinformation, because that right there is the biggest problem. That's who is informed. Tony is misinformed. So is disinformation, right? So the way to fight that is to continue to put out sound information, to continue to come to the conversation with the can of spray paint, and to continue to give pushback to that. You see what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead. I think Logic wanted to say something.
Yeah, I mean, good job of bringing it down. I definitely feel like Tony, he made a bunch of mistakes. I'm sure we all knew that. But I think we started out talking about if there was a pattern that could be recognized between these different events, right? When we're talking about, then we got into the systemic part of it, and ultimately went all around the world to some degree agree that you can recognize a pattern when it comes to colonialism. One group takes over another, blah, 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 they assimilate. And typically the people who got taken over, they had lesser roles in society, so on and so forth, right? That was just the original argument. Now, some kind of way we got into going down a bunch of different particular paths and got us off that original track. But that's the confusion is definitely from Tony. That's a whole different conversation. I'm kind of trying to put the wheels back on it, because we're gonna try to sit up here and consider what Tony thinks, and Tony just off his motherfucking rock right there. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be impossible for us to get to the bottom of what we think he means, or why is he struggling with it the way he's struggling with it. You know what I'm saying? So back to my point. It's I don't think that there may not be a specific benefit that we can use with accepting that there is a pattern here, that there's a pattern when it comes to human behavior and it comes to slavery. Like I understand why we would want to make the argument of it being unique in all those different things. I understand that. I think in order to actually understand what's happening, right? In order to not allow room for bad information to sort of creep in to the conversation, we have to see a pattern, right? Like both things can be true. Like we can acknowledge that there's a pattern, and of course, still recognize that our specific plight is important to us. We don't have to relinquish it, and we can continue to do that as we acknowledge that the world is dealing with discrimination, right? Like that's a problem everybody's having to figure out how do we provide answers to this kind of stuff in that. So that's where I wanted to at least bring the conversation back to.
But that's why, Logic. That's why, and I didn't think I'd ever be saying this to you and Chef, but that's why when we do a show and I hear oppression is oppression, or we're no longer oppressed, that shit got to be addressed. Whether we all agree, whether we all on the same page, because that's misinformation and disinformation. And to me, it gives license to motherfuckers that's the motherfuckers that y'all talking to us. But the motherfuckers that actually receive the message that you giving is a dangerous sect of people, bro. That's a dangerous sect of people when you saying words like black people are no longer oppressed.
I agree. That's why I would have never worded it that way.
That's dangerous.
And I feel like I know Chef enough to know what he means.
It's like
never say it like that. Never.
Yeah, it's like Nick Fuentes and his group of groypers, right? Now, black people could all agree, and even a lot of progressive and your kind of left-leaning people, right? We could all agree that we shouldn't be giving all this money to Israel. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they committing a genocide. Second of all, we giving trillions of dollars to them. They got free universal health care and college over there, and we don't over here, right? But it's a difference between why we don't want to continue to fund Israel and the difference between why Nick Fuentes don't want to continue to fund Israel. Nick Fuentes is just an anti-Semite. You see what I'm saying? So we don't want Nick Fuentes hitching his wagon to our progressive. You understand what I'm saying? Is y'all getting that example?
Completely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Then you get a nigga like
absolutely.
Fetty. No, but then you get a nigga like Fetty putting in the chat videos of nobody can criticize black people, they must be perfect. See, like that kind of shit. See, like I'm telling y'all, Corey, you make an amazing point when you say that. It is very because Chef says that black people are no longer oppressed, and then Tony starts talking about we ain't got no conflict resolution. Like, then when does it stop? Then the next motherfucker that says his views on the same shit, it'll be they should just go back to act. Like that's where it ends. You know what I'm saying? See, like there's levels, there's
we'll get
tiers.
Herschel Walker up in here after a while.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers who saying we was better off during Jim Crow and redlining and shit like that. You know what I mean? Or when it was less murders when black people was enslaved. Wild shit like that. So yeah. Definitely. Wow.
And Tony, stop that. We won't let you speak, nigga. You've been off mute for an hour. You just ain't speaking because you don't want to.
No, it's because I'm in the room and I'm going to push my. But let him know that I only have one call for the week and I'm not wasting it on a Monday. Too early. I need to build up some reserve so when I bust out on a Friday, it's like the Incredible Hulk. But
absolutely.
Chef mentioned something earlier that black people know that we have regained our humanity. And not all level of humanity is the same. As I said earlier when I made the point, is that this is like, if anybody ever have a dark-skinned girlfriend, a really dark-skinned girlfriend, and she was super pretty.
Her dark-skinned wife is fucking amazing.
One of the worst.
That's why I married my wife, because she black
I married
as a
my wife
motherfucker.
first. I was happy.
Do y'all actually relate to that?
That was half the equation. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Let me say this. And the most insulting thing that you can say to that girl is that you know that you're pretty for a black girl.
Disgusting.
That's really disgusting. Yes.
Disgusting.
No, that is what our humanity will get back. I'm a man, but I'm a black man. So am I a man first, or am I a black man first? Is black man equal to white man? If I'm equal to you, why the descriptor? Why you mentioning that? Because to be human, to be a human being, is that you see me as your equal. But in this culture, in this society, in this day of age, we are not seen. I remember when this South African, this Ghanaian Prime Minister, they come with his wife, and they were referring to her as the black Kennedy. What's her name? John F. Kennedy wife. During that time, I saw it in newspaper clippings because she dressed stylish and she was beautiful. They were referring to her as the black Jackie Kennedy. It's just recently in the 70s when they mentioned who was in the 60s and 70s when they asked what was the best decade, and I said we had many firsts. And you say you agree with me. Is that decade our children now could aspire to be a black person? Because we had many firsts and we could use those as that. So when a child now want to become president, they can say, oh, I want to be like Obama. You might not like his policy, but Obama is not the greatest black president. Obama is one of the greatest presidents, although he was a mass murderer. He saved this place. When he came in 2008, it was economic downturn left, right, and center. And his policies reversed the situation. But many people don't say that. He's first measured on his blackness more than what he did.
He chose to save America instead of he chose to save America and disregarded Black African Americans.
Yeah, he saved
But hold on, I don't heard this term too many times a day, so I gotta ask y'all: do y'all still feel like y'all fighting for y'all humanity? Y'all feel like that? I don't feel like that.
Yes.
I don't feel like that.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You wanna know why I still feel like we fighting for our humanity? When your niece has a child and she's screaming in fucking pain, or your daughter has a child and she's screaming in fucking pain, and that doctor looks at her and says you'll be okay, but runs down the fucking hall to that same European or Indian or any other race and says, hey, get them an epidural immediately and give them the best medicine. They still look at us like we motherfucking don't feel no pain.
Right.
They still look at us the same way. Like,
don't you hear the health secretary of America say we got a different immune system?
Bro,
I'm
more
so
the person that runs
that we got a different immune system.
They don't think they
saying that. Yeah,
we're not looking. No, logic. We're not looking at the same.
Let me ask the same question in a different way. Let me ask the same question in a different way, right? In the 90s, when people was talking about I'm a real nigga, that was y'all like, oh, I gotta go be a real nigga now.
I don't know what you talking about.
I don't know.
It's a small. You're talking about a small group of African Americans, like a very small group of African Americans, probably was entertaining that. But
well, maybe that's a bad analogy. But I'm more so saying I don't feel like you can't convince me that that's who I am. You might be convinced, but you can't.
No. It's not about a reality. It's not about the convincing you. Logic. Yeah. That's not the point to convince you. Did you know that there's never been a point in any day that has been to convince you.
But we were trying to convince ourselves that we actually were human.
Hold on. One second. It's to convince decent white folk that you ain't human. You hear me? Did you hear what I'm saying?
I convince
decent white folk that you ain't human, so that they can be okay to pull the bullshit that they've been pulling on you, and then nobody say nothing. No legislation get passed. No repairs get repaired. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
So it's never to convince you. It's never to convince you.
I kind of see like
our ancestors always knew that they were human. You see what I'm saying? There was never a point in time that our ancestors didn't know that they were human beings, bro.
Yeah, but there was
what's his name? We were talking about Dick Gregory just the other day. He said he got called the N-word so much he thought that was his actual name. That don't sound like a little bit of shaking identity.
It's a figure of speech, right? So when I was as an apprentice, I tell people, motherfucker, I thought my name was motherfucker, but it was a figure of speech. It was just to tell you how hard it was to be an apprentice as a cement mason.
I got you.
That's all.
I took it literally.
Yeah.
I got you.
But listen. You can look at that's why I went down them areas to still show the oppression. But logic, you can go down them same areas to show they don't feel like it's the front. They don't fund us enough to be educated. They don't give a fuck about your brain. They don't care if you live in a fucking food desert. They don't care if they incarcerate you to the tune of 5-1. They don't care if they motherfucking kill you. We're 1 in 3 black people, black men, 1 in 3 more times to be incarcerated. They'll kill you in the street. They don't give a fuck, bro. The motherfuckers will look you in your eye as a man. You said, we're not still. Should we still be feeling like we fighting for our humanity? What about the husband that know his wife? This shit happens so much. The reason why I keep bringing this particular thing up is because I'm working on with a group of people that's working with Holy Name and Hackensack Medical University to to address the black maternal mortality. A doctor, I've seen videos where a doctor will look at a black man holding his wife's hand. She's sitting there on death's fucking door. And that doctor with a smile on his face to say, she's okay. She's all right. I've seen this before. She'll pull through. She's strong. And then she dies. And then that doctor said, I've been through this enough time. There are doctors that have said shit like, well, you know, black women are tougher. And think that's a compliment. Bro, they don't trust me. We have to fight for our humanity still in 2025.
You got to talk about how they actually sell that, and some black people are convinced that black women are stronger, or black men and women are stronger.
So today would that be
they
more
actually
of like
sell that to us for real though? Like, do you get that? Like, not
I do get it. I'm more so maybe I'm asking. I'm asking is
coming from your
that,
doctor, you don't buy that sometimes. But go ahead.
Is that individuals having their own mind, or is that the institution?
No, it's an institute. See, this is what I mean. This ain't a one-off. We 2 to 3 times more likely for us to be a part of that maternal death. Why is that? That means it's structural. That means it's a system. That means it's systematic. This ain't one guy. This ain't a bad apple. This is a structure. Bro, why do you think during COVID that what are underlying diseases? People, they thought that they was gonna be able to get off. Well, COVID's just affecting black people more than it's affecting everybody else. They said that shit until fucking somebody came behind them and said, "Well, no, all it's doing is highlighting the lack of healthcare access, the lack of the heightened underlying diseses in the black community. COVID is just killing. It shows that we're It was. Yeah, they started talking about the shit. They can't go get good food within miles of where they live. The food in and around them is what's killing them. The liquor, the access to alcohol is killing them. The shit in and around them, the water is it's just the matter of fact. That's when the first time I found out that stress. I know stress can give you what does it say? It says stress can something in the body. Stress can create illness in the body. I think that I don't know if that's 100% true. Somebody can look that up. But I know stress is the leading cause.
Stress is the leading cause of a heart disease, and heart disease is the leading cause of death in the black men men over 35.
Yeah, I know it. I don't want to be sound crazy.
It's something. I don't know if it's infection, inflammation, or something, but it is linked.
I just know stress can manifest in your body. I know that. If you highly stressed, highly this, that, and the other, it could actually lead to some shit going wrong with you on the inside. So, but my point is, Logic, that's the humanity part. When a cop got a gun on you, he don't give a fuck if you successful. That's why it kill me when motherfuckers be like, pick yourself up from your bootstraps and shit like that. Nigga, have you seen them videos of cops pulling over black district attorneys, black lawyers and shit? And them motherfuckers is like, I know the law, right? And they treating them just like they treat anybody else. So yeah, we do gotta fight for our humanity. That's why certain statements you gotta say something. Because I don't know exactly what Chef meant, but whatever he meant gave license to what Tony meant and what Fetty was talking about.
Bro, stop bringing me up, bro.
I can, nigga. Okay. And
stop bringing me up in these political
wait. Hold on.
You trying to do that divide? You trying to do that divide?
Or what?
I've been standing on what I said. Don't bring me up.
Or what though? When you say
don't
stop,
bring me up.
Or what? So if I don't stop, or what? Why are you telling me to stop? I don't understand why you telling me to stop. We both grown.
No,
so or what? What's the penalty if I don't?
You agree with Betty saying like
no, but what's the penalty if I don't? That's my question. We talking about something else now.
I'm saying
when you telling me to stop,
like what I say is the contrary and
I know. What's the penalty for it though?
You know what you be doing, bro.
No, okay, that's cool. But what's the penalty for if I don't stop?
I'm just saying it goes more to say about you, not me. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's cool. I'll talk about me then. All right. Because I know you agree with Tony fully. So you can say don't bring you up, but you do. You do
You can
fully
talk about me
believe.
all you
I
like,
don't
though.
even think.
You
I
can talk
don't
about
even
me all you
think
like.
you.
I don't mind.
Okay, I appreciate it. But when Chef said oppressed, we're no longer oppressed. I don't know if he mean what y'all mean, but I don't think he mean what y'all. And
No,
that's
Chef
just
don't.
the black credit I'm gonna give Chef. But if he's saying what you saying, I'm gonna keep bringing him up because he know that shit ain't right. He know that's incorrect. So it is what it is.
What is oppression? Did y'all get to that? I stepped
No,
off
you
for a
you
minute.
left, and then
And
Charlie Kirk
I'm glad you back,
and,
yo. I'm
Ben
glad you back.
Shapiro
You're the man of the
as
hour
well
right now.
ran off. No, you said oppression. We're no longer oppressed, and then Thomas Sowell and Ben Shapiro, they took that shit and went full right with it. That's what you did.
Yeah.
You gave these two niggas license to go absolutely ape shit.
Hold on. The oppression, I'm giving it to something quantifiable, right? So when I was talking about oppression, I was pointing to tangible things, legal things that made us second-class citizens. Now, am I saying racism and am I saying that racism and all of that shit don't exist by me saying that oppression don't exist no more? Like, I think we sometimes conflate certain terms together, right? Am I saying racism is over and we're not facing systematic racism and shit like that? No. I'm saying oppression, far as wise being by those racist tropes being codified in legality to deliberately that could be hindrances for us. I'm saying that if that's oppression, that's over. Is there lingering effects of it? Yes. But everything that I'm saying is that everything that needs to be fixed now is our shit. So if there's any inequalities that's still lingering, we're the ones that gotta fix that shit. Because the legal restraints is removed. It's removed. Everything else, they don't have to like you. They don't have none of the shit that makes us uncomfortable. You think what I'm saying?
I'm
That's
on
a
board 100%
byproduct.
with that.
Yeah,
I'm in the car
that's
with
a
you on that.
byproduct of us having to live here amongst them motherfuckers. But look, we got our own schools. We have our own communities. You subject yourself to the shit that you're uncomfortable with now. You literally do. You feel me? You think Asian Americans, you know what I mean? Whatever they go through that they don't like is because they agreeing to deal with it because it's a benefit to them in some type of way. So us dealing with the larger society, we deal with them because it's a benefit to us to deal with them. If it wasn't a benefit, we don't have to do it. We're perfect. We can live where we want to live. You think what I'm saying? If I move into a white community and experience racism, I put myself there. I didn't have to do that shit. If I look, we got our own colleges that we don't even like to go to no motherfucking more. The HBCU is the way it is. Black people could fix them motherfuckers if they wanted, if they had the mind and the energy to do it, and they could do it. Like, so we good.
Energy. Yeah, Virginia State.
We're not, and you're wrong. But go ahead. I don't know how to explain it to you. I'm gonna just say that I done said enough. I'm gonna just say
victims no more.
No, I'm not talking about victims. I ain't even used the word. You
said
we're no
victimhood mentality. I've been crying for 3 hours about victimhood.
Niggas can fix. My thing is, Brad, me and you, right? Just check out right here, right? in Baltimore, right? Black City Council. Like, but I'm trying to figure out, like, yo, these problems are problems that white people then gave over to you niggas to fix. If there's a housing problem, you know how many black realtors it is. They could fix these fucking communities. But each one of them is worried about, I'm going to flip this house, I'm going to flip these houses, I'm going to make my money, I'm going to move somewhere else. Those black realtors can get together, right, and fix whole fucking communities. So it's on, nobody is stopping the niggas. Nobody, this shit is wide open. I just don't, like, yeah, I don't see the oppression. We're oppressing ourselves. I'm going to say, fuck it.
Okay.
Or maybe we ain't smart enough. I don't know. Something going on. But
no, you just sound frustrated. You sound frustrated because I don't know. I ain't beating a broken record. I'm not beating a broken record. I'm not.
I can't keep whining
maybe I'm just I'll die on this hill. I'll die on this island. I know. And when we keep saying that, we keep making excuses this time and the other. I just ain't forgetting the people that I'm not just gonna tell every black person that is struggling, that they're suffering. I'm not just gonna tell them motherfuckers that. They just pick yourself up, bro. When I know it's a lot of shit weighing on them in ways that they don't even know. They don't even see. When you say, you're saying what you're really talking about in all of this with housing, finance, all this other shit, you talking about the wealth gap.
And I'm not talking about individuals.
No, I'm talking about social. Oppression, racism is individual in my mind. Oppression is something when you socially dominate another class of people, and they're still doing it. And the effects of the oppression, the fact that it's still here, don't mean that you can run from it. So Chef, let me ask you a question. When you say that we're no longer oppressed, right? We may be feeling the effects of oppression, but we're no longer oppressed. But if we worked for free for 250 fucking years, you're saying that we could fix that. We can somehow we
can't fix that. We already the work.
No, but you just said we can fix all of these problems. That's oppression. The oppression. Forget slavery. Slavery was the act. The effects of it was 250 years of free labor. And you're saying, because see, that's the effect that you want me to just glance. Oh, it's just the effect. The effect is that. But you're saying that we could fix all of this shit. We could fix all the inequality. The GI Bill, how that shit created the middle class, a white middle class. Told us it was going to create a black middle class. It didn't, but somehow we could fix that. You denying, bro, the wealth gap is $250,000 to $44,000, and you think that we can fix, like it's just up to us. Everything is out the way, and we have no barriers. That don't even fucking make sense, what you saying right now. I'm not trying to take power away from black people, but that within the power, there has to be some responsibility, some common sense, and some accountability. Some things, in order for them to be fixed, is going to have to be fixed outside of us. We can do what we can do. Don't get me wrong. We're all examples. I'm assuming most of us on this call are examples of doing what it is that we can do within the system. But to say that it's completely up to us, to say that we're still not being redlined, to say that we're still not being over-policed, similar to the slave codes, similar to Jim Crow, to say that we're not still being mass incarcerated to make goods for free, like slavery, to say that all of that shit just went away, Chef, and that it's up to us now to fix this shit within these new parameters of oppression that don't exist? Come on, Chef. You might this gonna take you ain't gonna be able to flush this out in the Discord chat. And the sad part is I think you are actually saying what Freddie and them is saying, which is disturbing to me now. Like you might not oppression never leaves, it just evolves, bro. And I don't think you in this Discord chat is about to make me believe that all of a sudden just the oppression that we face left and it didn't evolve. Oppression doesn't go anywhere. It just changes.
Well, I heard him. I heard him this time. I heard him.
What a message to tell the children.
So what
you ain't got no
what I'm getting.
You are a kid.
What I'm getting out of it, Brad, because again, I hear things a little different, right? And what I'm getting out of it is basically he's saying, like, the shit that we can do something about, let's do something about that. You know what I'm saying? Like there are things that we can do now that we couldn't do, right? And so with those things, with those tools that we have in the toolbox that we didn't have, let's build things with that, with the tools that we do got. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely agree with that. Like, especially when he talks about the real estate and different other issues. You know what I mean? Like there are things that we can do and we should do to better ourselves as a group, as a people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna never argue against that. But am I arguing against what you're saying, Bryce? Not. Don't think for a second I'm arguing against what you're saying. But I do hear Sheffrin, and because I'm one that I'm one of those accountability people, right? I do think that we all have our own agency, and we should hold ourselves accountable for kind of our situation, you know. And I think that that's a more of a one-on-one thing than like a group thing, right? So each individual got to strive to better themselves, and that'll make us better as a whole. You know what I'm saying? And then always look back and pick somebody else up too. You know what I'm saying? So I think
I don't mind the accountability, Corey. I don't mind the accountability, but while I'm being accountable, I'm not gonna act like it's not there. That's where we not gonna agree.
Who's doing that?
I can be accountable. I could be accountable, and I can go out and I can create generational wealth for my family. I can go out and teach others how to do it. But the one thing I'm not gonna tell them is that, yeah, but you know that redlining I'm talking about, man, it don't exist. The wealth gap, just get out there and work. Now that's fine, but I'm gonna also tell them that there is a wealth gap that exists because they need to know. Because if you know,
the throwing the bootstraps at you, that's a little dishonest. You know,
I was gonna say, who's doing that though? Nobody is ignoring none of those.
I think I've heard you.
Chef just said it don't exist.
I heard you throw some bootstraps.
He said what don't exist? Systematic racism.
Chef just said oppression don't exist.
In the way that y'all are describing it, no, it's not. But I don't think so. I think it's still, like you say, remnants of the past. But when y'all bring up shit from the past, acting like we got that same, tug on us now, it's not true.
Yeah, when I'm hearing him say it, I don't agree that oppression doesn't exist. I don't agree with that. But when he describes what he means in that way, he's saying that a lot of those barriers have been lifted and those stances have been softened up over time. I wouldn't describe it as if it doesn't exist, but I get what he's saying.
But you can't get past the part. Listen,
I wouldn't say it that way.
The argument, but not the argument, the discussion. I'm trying to figure out how we keep saying these words. I don't agree that it don't exist, but I understand.
I'm letting him be a barber.
The basis of his argument is that it don't exist. That there is
I'm letting him be a barber. I'm not holding him to the rigid definition. I'm working off the explanation he gave me.
Chef, hey, Chef, you round the corner from
Bryce, in the bottom, I want to ask the question. What do you mean by the wealth gap? Because let me frame the question. The reason I ask is because from here study the economic situation, right? The 1% hold the most of the wealth. And even the white middle class has been steadily shrinking since like 1980s. So when you talk about the wealth gap, are you talking about the wealth gap amongst the working poor and the so-called shrinking?
No, we're talking about white to black. We're talking about white to black.
But all white society don't have a conglomeration of wealth because the wealth is
no white
by
median. There's a median, but there's a median in there now. There's a median. White median wealth to black. When you do wealth gap, you're not talking. It's not. We're not talking about the class aspect. We're talking about the median aspect. The white median wealth is Hold on. The white median wealth is 250,000. The same median accounting for that median in our class is 44. It's 44,000 compared to 200. It's $210,000 more if you're taking away everything else and just dealing with the median. It's $210,000 more than that.
As far as the statistics described, are they taking the general amalgamation of white money and then distributing that against the amount of white people to get to a median? Or you
I don't know. I can look up this
amalgamation of white funds and distributing
that. What you're talking about is the mean.
You can mislead. Statistics can be misleading, and when we talk about this wealth gap, I see just too many Americans that's poor.
No, but
I'm not talking about all Americans.
Even white Americans are poor.
Yeah, I know, but you having another conversation on that. We're not having that conversation. I agree with you. I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
He said median. He did not say mean. Mean is the average overall.
For every set of numbers you can pull, I could pull another 10.
I know, because you're doing the Charlie Kirk shit right now.
Oh, that's a low blow.
I know what he's doing.
Crazy.
No, I know what he's doing. Everything that we say, everything that we gonna say that proves this particular. Bro, do you understand that's how Charlie Kirk died, bro?
No, let's not bring up Charlie Kirk.
I can. Don't stop.
Hold on, wait.
What to say? I can say what I want, and I'm not done talking.
I'm saying with him.
I'm not.
Why did you go straight to?
I'm not done talking.
Let him talk about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, let me say my point. I don't want the nigga to die. Hey Tony, I don't want you to die. Right. So this time when you leave, just stay gone. You keep saying you can't, and you hate what we talking about, but you keep sitting in this motherfucker. That's the wildest shit ever. But Tony, I don't want you to die, and I don't want you to get shot in the neck. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, every time that we keep talking about something else. Like when Charlie Kirk died, do you know they was asking him a question about something else? And he was about to say, but what about the gang violence in, I'm guessing, assuming Chicago or something else? But before he could say that shit, he got hit in the neck. So every time we start talking about, I know that's the Charlie Kirk shit I'm talking about. Every time we start talking about one thing, you just said, forget how disturbing the median wealth between white and black is $210,000 different. Fuck what Brass is talking about. Let me just go get these other 10 stats.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck your other 10 stats. We talking about this right now.
Stat.
That's fine. But you know what's funny?
I said anathema, you gotta know that we always
funny thing
talk
is,
about
Tony,
the
you just did.
disparities
Hold on, Corey.
in
Hold on, Corey. Corey. You know what's funny, Tony? No. You know what's funny, Tony? You know what you just did again? You know what you just did? When I said black wealth and white wealth, I know you think you could talk over me, but it'll never work. What I'm saying to you is, listen to what I'm saying, Corey. Let me just get this point out. When you say fuck yo stats, you know the funny, you do this, you pick and choose. You and Fetty do this shit all the time. Chief X do it sometimes, but I pay attention when y'all two niggas talk. Because you keep saying fuck yo stats, like the bad ones don't apply to you too.
But
when I said black wealth and white wealth, I said us and we. When you said you gonna go get 10 other stats, you said your stats. Nigga, that's you too. Didn't you say you was black? These black median wealth stats, that's you too. So this ain't you. These ain't we ain't talking about you.
Bro, you're relentless, man. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm asking a question. Are you not talking about you?
That's one thing about you, bro. You really, you know what I'm saying? You don't let You know what I'm saying? You with it.
If that's your answer, man, I guess.
He's saying you got him. You won't let
He ain't got me. Hell no. No way.
Every time I bring up a negative stat, y'all niggas say you. I know that that's me too.
Hey, but
I know
I
that if
don't
it ain't me, it's somebody else.
I don't want them to think about. I don't want them to think that we don't acknowledge the wealth gap, the disparities in some of the poor white communities. We did a whole conversation on that before. You know, we talked about. I even shared the one video about the people down in, I think that was Kentucky.
Appalachia.
The white Appalachians.
So, the Appalachians, yeah. So that we understand that, and that's one of my talking points too. Like that's one of my biggest issues is that, you know, the projects need to go down to the trailer park and have a conversation. We need to have a barbecue and a beer. I always say that, bro. So don't think we don't know every aspect of the game, bro. Like we talk about it from every angle that it can be talked about. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want people to think that we only talk about it from the black plight or the black perspective. I think we're intelligent enough to see other people's perspective and understand the oppression and how it affects American as a whole. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, my argument
that goes to the other way too, though. Y'all gotta acknowledge that we recognize shit y'all talk about as well. Y'all said as if we don't know these things, and these things haven't been preached in the black community for decades. When y'all bring us, so
that
it
really
goes
wasn't good to you, Fetty. Though I know.
No.
I'm
just saying.
I go on a roller coaster with you. So today I might think you crazy. Tomorrow you'll say some shit, and then we'll be in the same boat. You know what I mean? So it's good, bro. Don't worry about
Corey,
it.
let me show you what I talk about, Corey. Look here.
But me and Tony, I don't know, Tony. Go ahead, Tony. Me and you ain't like me and Fetty. But I'm gonna let you ride. Go ahead.
Yo, Corey, me I talk. This is not the man. See, how me I look at it is that.
Oh, that's what's up, man? What's
right?
with you?
And then those things are intensified in black people. So whatever's going on generally in America, you're going to see it more intensified in the black community because we're smaller and we have so many things against us. So you can see like the general
word exacerbated
or exacerbated in our community.
I like the word
exacerbated. So the wealth gap has to do more than income, right? It has to do with what you own and your assets versus your debt, right? But if you live in a poor community, more than likely you're going to operate with a heavy debt and less assets to balance that, which means you're going to have a larger gap in terms of your actual wealth to debt, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying that's a byproduct of poorness in addition to the racism that's imposed on you. So it's going to be intensified in your community, but it's what generally occurs in America.
Absolutely. Yeah. You're absolutely right with that. You're absolutely right. I wouldn't disagree.
And that's my stance. That's always my stance.
Yeah, but the thing about it, Dred, is that the occurrence, when you look at the statistic, because that is what Brass is doing. Brass is looking at statistics. And what statistic does is that it works more in percentage than in generalized numbers. Meaning that although I can compare 500,000 people to 200,000 people when I'm looking at pure statistics, I can say within the 200,000 people, 60% of those are poor. Because the statistics can show the numbers that is being affected. And when he looks at the numbers under the comparison and use the median, not the mean, he's not averaging out all the wealth of white people and then dividing it by the total number of white people. The median is that when you look at all the numbers, the middle numbers.
Yeah. We know. Mean, medium, and odd. That's what y'all chat.
Yeah, let me explain to people. So those numbers now, when you use the median, it is less probable to be affected by large numbers. So although the large numbers in the white population show that they have more millionaires, the median will be less affected. So we show what the actual true middle numbers are. And when you compare their middle numbers to our middle numbers, their middle numbers are significantly higher by 200,000. So
because Asians, because in that the reason why the median number is so important to me is because that's all of the middle class households. That's the middle. That's the middle class household. So when you saying our middle class household versus the Asian middle class household versus the Hispanic middle class household versus the white middle class household, what we think as far as middle class, basically all things being equal, we make about the same, this, that, and the other. Our wealth is 44,000. White people is actually 284,000. You want to hear something crazy? We don't talk about Asians. Asian median household wealth is 536,000. But you know why we don't talk about the Asians? It's because we don't see them motherfuckers as the reason for the structure, the people that are in charge of the structures and systems that's fucking with the wealth. We just know that they brought the most intelligent of them motherfuckers over there. Asians brought whatever they had over here, over there, wherever the fuck they from, they brought that shit to the United States. They using that shit in here in the United States. They didn't take all the Asians. The Asians that'll bring that number down can't even come over this motherfucker. They want the doctors and the technical not technicians.
The ITs, the engineers.
Those motherfuckers, they bring them over here, and then they come over here with that same thinking that they had over there. That's why I'm saying, like, that's why I think they run our parallel systems over to that. But the funny thing about Americans is, African Americans, is we don't have the fucking over there. We only got the here. So we just trying to do American shit while being African Americans, and then you got some niggas talking. That's a whole nother conversation. But if it's at the median, Hispanics is at 75,000. So if we at 44 fucking thousand, and then also I got a motherfucker like Chef telling me it ain't no fucking oppression, and then I got a motherfucker like Fetty and Tony saying, "Oh well, just fix. We got to talk about how we gonna fix it. This, that, and the other. We got to at least recognize
that wasn't even coherent. Say that again.
Brass,
I'm done talking.
Brass, just like how you emphasize the garbage, the money, emphasize that when you're talking about the media, you're talking about the middle class black people.
Yeah, like a typical family. What a typical family.
We're not talking about the poor black people. If we compare those numbers, we are if you compare the poor black people to the poor white people, the bottom half of the data, you start saying shit. No, that is when you compare that now, you will see the real oppression. Why is it that poor black people are so poor in comparison to other poor people? Our poor, they're poor middle class to our poor. So although you can say those persons in Appalachia, if you look at their income as poor people, they're still in a better position than poor black people. That's when the data get skewed. And when you compare to the
not only that, they own the shacks. That they're not renting those shacks. They actually own those, right? And the property and the property that those shacks are on. So that goes.
And Corey, go back to the union conversation. Remember when we was talking about deindustrialization in the United States? Just the simple fact that these motherfuckers had the heads up when them shits was closing to go and start their own shit. And they had to access the capital to go and start their own shit. Now they could have been the same motherfuckers that would be out of work
in Michigan
and fucked off.
In Michigan, when GM left, they had their heads up, and half of them went out and got those loans that black people wasn't able to go get. Right. Also, they were able to, even if they weren't in good shape as far as the credit goes, they still had collateral. You know what I'm saying? So they had collateral to put up to get a small business loan or whatever. That those black men and women that were working at GM didn't get to take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely, it's a systemic. Like
No, but no, the oppression just left. We're no longer oppressed. You know, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and go be middle class, and still be in that $210,000 wealth gap against the people that oppressed you.
And so one of the details
Weird as hell.
to that number, Brass, too, is like you and I may live in a nice middle class neighborhood, right? But on average, right, we have a bigger debt to be in that class. You see what I'm saying? To live in that neighborhood, our debt to actual wealth has to be way greater than the white people. That's why you get the disparities also. You see what I'm saying? So we look good, we riding in the Range Rover and we live in a nice neighborhood, but that shit ain't paid for even close. That shit ain't even close to being paid for on average. You see what I'm saying? And the interest and APR rates on the shit is out the window.
Yeah, and your mortgage is higher, and the neighborhood you live in is worth less. Like y'all can miss me with that. I had a Garvey conversation last week. We could have an oppression conversation. Anybody who want to get put on a fucking Summer Jam screen, I will put you on the Summer Jam screen for saying that shit. If I gotta prove to you that the oppression still exists, I'll do that conversation. But I want to do a one-on-one pause without Thomas Sowell and Charlie Kirk. So whoever want to actually have that conversation, we can have it. But I'm not dealing with the fucking peanut gallery. Motherfuckers telling to pick your book because that shit is infuriating.
Why can't two things be true?
Like you can be Thomas Sowell and Charlie Kirk?
Never mind, bro.
No, you said two things being true.
We still need to be responsible for ourselves.
He still don't get what I'm saying. That's why this shit is hilarious.
I assume that. But you know what's funny
niggas
though?
Don't get what I'm saying up until this point. I don't know. I've been saying.
You know what's funny, Corey? I don't look at black people as irresponsible. I don't look at us as unaccountable. So I don't think I have to advertise that we have to be. I think
I'm saying no. You're going to talk about white supremacy and oppression for 3 hours. How come, like, you get
so much? You don't have to listen.
Let me finish, bro. How come
you just said you didn't want to be here?
Let me finish, bro.
Okay, go ahead.
Damn. No, I'm saying, bro, it's funny because I see a pattern not only in here, but just the black internet at large, right? Like I sent the video earlier. It don't matter if you white, black, whatever. If you critique, if it looks like you're critiquing black people in any way, you're either going to get labeled a coon, going to get labeled a person who's echoing white nationalists, for anything, versus actually having the conversation and saying, even though it's the systematic shit y'all be talking about, most of us aren't denying that. But if you're leaning on that to express why we're in every, messed up position without talking about things dealing with culture and things we can do on our own, that's how I know it's promoting victim mentality. Because at the same time, again, the main objective is to cast out the black person who's talking like this. Oh, you sound crazy.
Black people as a whole, when you go outside, do you see black folks with a victim mentality outside? How do your community? What kind of community you live in? What kind of community do you live in?
I'm in a black.
You live in a black community or a mixed community or a white community? What you live in?
I would say a mixed community, but I directly.
And in that mixed community, when you get up and go to when you get up in the morning, ain't everybody in that fucking community getting up to?
Say that again, bro.
When you get up in the morning to go do your thing, when you get up in the morning to go do whatever it is you do in the world, ain't the overwhelming majority of that community getting up with you, going to do whatever it is they do in the world?
Yeah, but you don't want to know the answer to that. If you want to have a real conversation, I
do,
a lot of black people, and I see a lot of differences.
We talking about in the community.
I have a diverse community.
Me too. I do too. Go ahead.
I'm saying,
I'm just asking you.
Yeah. Let him finish. He's gonna go left in a minute. Just let him finish. Go ahead.
He's trying to plant the seed already. Look.
No, I'm
saying as far as community and what I do for a living is a little different. Because in my immediate workspace, again, I employ a lot of black people, but I also have people with different background. I actually have couple Egyptian, North Africans, 4-5 Venezuelans, 12 black people. And the ones like the older black people who I employ definitely do their thing. They get there, they do their thing. But like there's a certain group of black people who I employ that I have to work with because they be doing fuck shit. They be leaving weed in my van, be showing up late, be crying about every damn thing. And I see another group, even within the black community that handles things
lazy asses.
Right.
No, but I'm saying, but again, the fact that I'm pro-black and I understand their circumstance, like especially a lot of. Let me finish.
Shit in every demographic.
This shit
Why
crazy.
would you keep the pieces of shit working for you?
White
folks don't do that.
Again, when I know that person, Pops just got killed and he's 19, 20, and nobody else will give him an opportunity. That's where my blackology come in. A lot of niggas be on the internet and express their blackology, but for me, I actually try to help.
The same way. I'm the same way, but I'm not gonna sit up and complain and say like
I'm not complaining.
All black people is representative of this one.
Who said that? I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
I didn't want to know the answer.
Y'all got it. Y'all got it, bro. Y'all got it.
Fire his dumb ass.
It's not even again. I fired plenty of people.
Do you think for 1 minute?
Hey, can y'all please Corey, hold on.
3,000 motherfuckers. Hold on. I just need him to know.
Just listen. No. Just follow one thing I want to say.
Do you think for 1 second that I'm gonna keep
not listening to you?
He's a nigga?
No, but y'all keep cutting them off. Let him finish the sentence. Yo, you listen. All of us in here can get cut off. Petty can't get cut off, bro, because it's gonna fuck up the conversation. Let the man finish his sentence completely, and then everybody talk, please. Because I actually want to hear this. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, Fed. Please. Okay.
He don't want his turn, so I'll take it.
No, that's what I be saying. Like,
he don't want his turn. What do you want me to do, Brad?
No, go ahead, bro. This shit crazy, bro.
That's
how I be
trying to know.
I'm trying to fix this shit before it gets crazy. Yes, go ahead, Fetty. Say your point. Nobody will cut you off.
Can I speak for 30 seconds without getting cut off?
Yeah, no, you can speak as long as you want. Go ahead.
I'm saying when y'all talk about firearm and all of that, y'all don't get, again, the burden that I have, right? Like, again, in my community, even my pops, my uncles, like we're a huge staple in our communities, and we use sports, like coaching and all of that to reach back, right? And in my life and in my experience, I have a lot of people, young people who look up to me, and I try to put them in good situations. So it's not as easy as y'all say, fire him, because I know if I let this nigga go and just throw him out to the world, he gonna be fucked up. So that's where my blackology comes into, where like I gotta work with certain black people who can't help themselves, and I'm willing to give them an opportunity to do so, to, contribute to society, as you say. So y'all don't really understand, but it's cool though. Like if y'all really knew
I get that. We fucking with.
I get it too. I get it. No, I understand, Fetty. But the thing about me, see, when your blackology starts to hurt your business, or you know what I mean, the quality of the product that you're putting out, then you need to rethink your blackology, brother.
It's not hurting me to the point where it's hurting my business overall, but on certain
days. Okay, well then don't bring that dude up then. No, he's just a family friend, and you gonna let him get away with murder.
Again, two things can be true, bro.
I done been there before. I've been there before, bro. Go ahead.
All I'm saying, bro,
overall,
Nah. Overall, bro, all I'm saying is that when you go to the habits of wanting to maximize yourself every day, attack the day, and all of that, I'm just saying most young black people who I hire in like between like 19 to 23 or 24, a lot of them don't take this shit serious. And based off the fact that I have people coming from Venezuela, other parts of the country who got families, my nigga, these niggas got families. They immigrated here and they get into it. They like, yo, I'm willing to work however amount of hours, 7 days, like get into it. And I just see like me seeing that, I just see certain differences in the older black people who I employ. We talk about it as well. Like, yeah, these young folks, man, they complain about it. So it's like
I challenge you to hire a 19-year-old white boy and let me see how much production you get out of that.
I hired plenty of young white people. What are you talking about? That's what I'm saying.
Americans, period, don't have a good production.
Here we go.
As teenagers and shit.
All right. You don't know who I try to.
I'm not expecting the same because you compared the guy to the older guys, right? You compared this guy to the older black guys that work with you. You ain't got no problem with the older black guy. What I'm saying is, if you got older white guys, you're not gonna have the same problem as you're gonna have out of the younger white guys.
If you don't see the
younger white guys, they're gonna go to the bar. Listen, I
got you. I wasn't trying to make a direct parallel to white
people. They go to the bar, get fucked up tonight, and tomorrow we got to start at 2 o'clock.
Bro, nobody.
How many of the 19, 20-year-olds gonna show up late? It don't matter what color they is.
I know a lot of y'all got kids. Whatever. Know more than me.
Tomorrow morning, guess what? We got to start at.
I got a good idea of what these young niggas around here doing. They mentality. Like, you can't tell me what I see in my
20-year-old black guys.
You ain't about to argue. Honestly, Corey, are you trying to talk with Freddie, or are you trying to argue? Seriously.
No, I'm just trying to get the point across.
It's like the example, like you ignore, like you trying to make this example, and you don't know who I hire. You talk about what hire a white, like, bro, stop that.
No, but I'm saying,
what I'm saying is, he didn't understand why I said that.
I understand because you're trying to make a parallel to say, Americans do certain things that you're I get what you're saying, bro. I'm talking about I see differences, patterns within demographics of people that go
outside. It's worse in the black community. Okay. I got you.
See, that's what I mean. I think you just tried to argue with him. You just tried to argue with him. Just argue with him. Cuss him out. But don't think y'all not having a civil conversation. This isn't civil. It's not. Neither one of y'all is listening to either one of y'all. They're both not listening to. Y'all just. He's a different kind of conversation.
Listen to everything he said. I listen to everything he said. He just want me to let him circle back around and say it again. Like, I've heard what he said, though. What are you gonna say? What did he say that I didn't hear?
I never understand somebody that don't want to talk to us but can't stop talking to us. That's the funny part. Freddie really don't want to talk to us.
He don't. I ain't.
No, he don't. He really ain't trying to have a conversation.
I'm with all the accountability in the world. But when we sitting up here trying to act like black kids is more lazy than kids,
that's racist.
It's wild as fuck to me.
It's wild
as fuck because I work with you think on a construction site, this ain't one of the most diverse places you could be in. And I was going to explain tomorrow, we got to start at 2 a.m. in the morning. Concrete is going to be touching the ground at 2 a.m. in the morning. When we get here in the morning, everybody that's going to show up late is not because they black, it's because they young. So you're going to have the Mexican kid show up late because he went to the bar. The black kid went to the bar last night. They all went together. All these motherfuckers went to the bar together, and they all show up late.
But in Freddie eyes, the black kid,
he ain't a kid. All the black
kid. See the difference? But do you see the difference, though? I'm the fool for pointing that shit out. I'm the fool. You call it wild. I call it racist. When we just automatically afford black people these fucking lazy, shiftless characteristics for just shit that young Americans do in mass. Most motherfuckers, most human beings, not just black people, most human beings, it takes children to get you to make sure you get your ass up and get out into it. Most motherfuckers will lead themselves in any motherfucking situation. But they won't lead themselves, they won't lead their children in a fucked up situation, so you'll just go get it. But that's a human thing. That ain't a black thing. You're not ever gonna make me believe that the black people in Virginia is just more shiftless than the motherfucking white people in Virginia. You can't start off a working on no planet would I ever start off a working hard conversation and with a 19-year-old. 19-year-olds ain't shit. I wasn't shit when I was 19. It wasn't because I was black. It was because I was 19.
And it depends on where you're from. So you think an American 19-year-old, I don't care whether they black or white, a Venezuelan 19-year-old is gonna work his ass way harder than any American 19-year-old, bro. So comparing some Venezuelan kid. You know, it should be wild to me. I don't like.
No, it ain't wild. You just need to call it what it is. You don't want to say it because it's petty, but you don't want to say it because it's petty. But that shit just is something real Thomas Sowell about it. That's all I'm gonna say, bro. I'm trying to be polite and nice, but when you saying shit, niggas be saying shit about like my son gonna be 19 in a while. He just shiftless because he black. What are we talking about?
Well, guys, can I chime in on this? What I think is going on is he's talking about a certain cultural attitude amongst different communities, where certain communities breed an incentive to learn and compete. And certain times in our communities, that has to be given a different type of motivation. And I'll give you an example, like when you're teaching, right? For instance, you go to the white school, they're doing drugs, they're doing all of this. But when it's time to take certain tests, because they know they have an opportunity in society, they're going to compete. But with the black youth and all of this rhetoric we have about everything being against them, a lot of time they're deterred from competing. So although they do the same things, but when it's time to get busy, they have less of an incentive, my youth. They have less an incentive to want to take the test to pass it because they don't feel that it's going to be viable gateway to any opportunity for them. They feel this. And then that plays out in the way they work, their work ethic, all of that. And you got other cultures where young people, yes, they do what young people do, but no, when it's time to get busy, they get busy, y'all. They do.